All right. So what I want to do is I want to get into how you get started. Like, how do you understand what is, the thing that you really want to work on? And first is I want to think through, like, understand what sucks for your customer. Like, this is the foundation. When you understand really the problem that you're facing and your customers are facing, you're able to actually start articulating a message that means something to them. When you don't have a message that actually connects and means something to them, then you are essentially missing the mark. You're talking about you're being narcissistic. That's not what you're looking for, right? Like, you want to solve a problem for them and get a job done for them. One way I like to think about this is, what is my customer hiring this email to do for them? Like, what would they pay? Time? Money? Like, what would they pay for the solution you're offering? And if that's not clear, that's a problem. So get clear with that. Next is ask what the job to be done is, right? So this is similar, but like, first you define the problem and then you define the solution, right? So the job to be done might be, my customer, needs, high fashion, more fashion, latest up-to-date fashion. So the job to be done is to make sure that they have not only the fashion that is new, that is fresh, but also that is specific to them, per their segment or the way that they've been focused. Or the job to be done is to give them a receipt for the product that they bought, and to make that really clear and to let them know when it will arrive, and to give them a next step, or, hey, there's still time to add to your cart. We're going to ship this on Thursday, but would you like anything to add before that? See, like, you just get the job to be done, you focus, and you provide value to that customer. That's going to keep them coming back. Next, create a hypothesis about how your job will help the things suck less and improve their lives, right? If you know that hypothesis, okay, my hypothesis is that this fashion email with this relevant, up-to-date, unique, new fashion will really help that customer to feel more connected to their fashion lives, and that they will buy more products if we organize our information in this way and we solve this job to be done for them. Come up with specific hypothesis about, what you want that email to do, and then do your research on how others are solving that problem, right? So you've got your problem, you've got your job to be done, you've got your hypothesis about how that job will help, and then you do your research on how others are solving that problem. Where do you do that? Really Good Emails. No better place on the internet to do that. It's not just my opinion. It's just, we've got more emails that are curated than anybody else. Obviously, go check out some other stuff on Pinterest. Look around for sure. We have a specific opinion about a complete package of what makes a really good email. There are some emails out there that don't have the same quality of design, but they have good strategy. Or sometimes emails that have really good design out there that lack good strategy, but you can be creative and bring those two together. So definitely, look at Really Good Emails, but also other places. Figure out how others are solving that problem so that you can jump off from where they started and make it more appropriate for you, but you don't have to solve it in a black box. Next, create a priority guide for what goes into all the communication. That includes email, SMS, and site, and then develop a prototype from it. So a priority guide is similar to a wireframe, but it's more content focused. Wireframe is like, where does the information go? Priority guide is, what is the critical information that has to be in this email for the job to be done? And you prioritize that information before you start designing. And so get that into, a focused place. And what's cool is you can develop a prototype before you even start designing. And that prototype ends up sort of being a priority guide, wireframe, and you can put it in front of a customer. You can put it in front of people that would be able to give you a response of, yes, this is solving that problem. I'm moving toward a solution on that hypothesis I have. Then, once you've tested it a little bit with a couple of customers, and then again, because it's a prototype, it can be a clickable Figma prototype, InVision prototype, it can be paper. anything. Just get that in front of people, get some reaction to it, and then design and prototype your email flow. Now, this is if you're starting from scratch. Obviously, if you already have an email design system, you already have emails out in the go, it might be faster just to come up with an email using that system very quickly in code and then get it out to people to test. Ideally, not just your entire audience. Segment or print it or test it in a prototype environment before you send it out. But in this case, from scratch, design and prototype your email flow. So not just that one email, but the entire thing. Like, how did the customer get put into a segment to receive this email? Did they buy something? Did they click on something? Did they sign up for something? Now they get this email. What do they do from there? And you want to review the entire flow as a conversation. Think about it relationally. Bring it out of context of technology and bring it into the relationship, and you will see if it feels right and if it feels connecting. You know this already because of the ways that you relate to your friends and family and loved ones. And so think about this relationally, and you'll see things really dynamically shift. Next, test your flow internally or with customers, right? So you've got your flow, you've got the way that it moves, you've got this relational dynamic. Test it if you can, test it with a small segment, get some internal, like get people to take action and receive the email and see if that feels right, if it is achieving the desired results that you've set up in your hypothesis. Next, document your flow and your findings and start sending it out, see what happens, and adjust your hypothesis. So it turns out people, didn't buy the product as much as we wanted. They did buy these other products, or they did click this other CTA. And so we're going to adjust the email and, sort of refocus the layout or the priority guide to more adequately meet the needs of the customer. Or maybe we misunderstood the problem. Like you can go back through your entire flow if you're not getting the results you're looking for. Lastly, or close to last here, is create a design system from your emails. This is a powerful tool that we'll get into in a little bit, but the incredible quality of being able to have your design already solved primarily so that you're filling in with content and you're moving faster, you're using less resources. It's exciting. Then implement those designs into components and templates. This is, again, part of an email design system, but when instead of having to do every single email as its own brand new thing, learn from what is happening in web design and in product design and bring your emails into a design system. I recommend using Taxi for email is a great tool that works with all the different ESPs and I think would work fantastic with GetResponse. And then you're able to have your design system all laid out. Your marketing team is able to leverage that tool and get into faster and faster flows because you already have components that then can be assembled into templates. It's like Legos. It's awesome. And send. Cool. So now that you've got everything developed, you've got everything in your flow, you've tested, this is the time to start sending to everybody. Now, as a small team, you may not be able to do every piece in this flow fully or amplified, but you can do a scrappy version of it. I like to say that quality does not have to change, but we can we can turn a dial from scrappy to thorough, where scrappy is like one person playing guitar at a bar, cool Led Zeppelin covers, right? Like that's gonna be freaking amazing. And that probably costs $500, right? Versus you can have an orchestra book like a giant theater and you can have them playing Led Zeppelin covers, and that could be $600,000 in New York if you book it for several weeks and you have different shows, and that's an extremely thorough experience. That's a huge range, but both can be great experiences. Same with you. When you're small and scrappy, there's still a way to achieve some of these results. And feel free to hit me up at Whale if you have any questions. Sweet. And don't forget to measure, test, and optimize. So each time that you send, watch what's happening and then adjust.